What if I told you that the biggest financial mistake most people make isn't obvious at all? It's not gambling away their savings, falling for scams, or making terrible investments. In fact, it's a mistake so normal that millions of people make it every day without even noticing. It's a mistake that quietly steals wealth year after year while convincing you that everything is fine. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why some people earn six figures and still struggle financially, while others with average incomes quietly build real wealth. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever received a raise, a bonus, or started earning more money, only to realize a few months later that your financial situation barely changed? If you have, you're not alone. This happens to people all over the world, and the reason behind it is both fascinating and dangerous. Imagine two friends named Alex and David. They graduated from college together, started their careers around the same time, and earned similar salaries. During their first few years of work, life felt exciting. For the first time, they had money of their own. Alex celebrated by upgrading his phone, buying better clothes, eating out more often, and rewarding himself whenever he felt he deserved it. None of these purchases seemed irresponsible. After all, what's the point of working hard if you can't enjoy the rewards? A year later, Alex received a raise. Suddenly, his apartment felt too small. His car felt outdated. His lifestyle felt ready for an upgrade. So he moved into a nicer place, got a newer car, and started spending more freely. Then another raise came, and another after that. Each increase in income was quickly followed by an increase in spending. The strange thing was that Alex never felt rich. Every time he earned more, his expectations grew along with his paycheck. What once felt luxurious became normal. What once seemed expensive now seemed reasonable. Without realizing it, Alex had stepped onto a treadmill that would keep him running for decades. Now let's talk about David. David also enjoyed his money. He wasn't living like a monk or denying himself every pleasure. But he followed one simple rule. Whenever his income increased, he invested most of the difference before allowing himself to spend the rest. If he got a raise worth $500 a month, he invested $300 and used the remaining $200 to improve his lifestyle. It didn't seem like a dramatic strategy. In fact, compared to Alex, David often looked less successful. Alex drove the nicer car. Alex wore the better clothes. Alex took the more impressive vacations. If you met both men, you'd probably assume Alex was wealthier. But appearances can be incredibly deceptive. One of the biggest lies society teaches us is that wealth looks expensive. We assume the person driving the luxury car is rich. We assume the person living in the biggest house is successful. We assume the person wearing designer brands has money. But real wealth is often invisible. The expensive car is visible. The investment portfolio isn't. The luxury vacation is visible. The growing assets aren't. The designer watch is visible. Financial freedom isn't. Many people spend years trying to look rich while quietly sacrificing the very habits that create actual wealth. The result is a generation of high earners living paycheck to paycheck, trapped by lifestyles that become more expensive every year. The reason this happens is rooted in psychology. Human beings adapt to improvement remarkably quickly. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. It's the tendency for happiness from positive changes to fade over time. Think about the last time you bought something you really wanted. Maybe it was a new phone, a gaming console, a car, or something else you were excited about. For a few days or weeks, it felt amazing. But eventually, that excitement disappeared. The new thing became normal. Then your brain started searching for the next thing that would make you happy. This cycle never ends because human beings are wired to adapt. What once felt extraordinary becomes ordinary, and what was once a luxury becomes a necessity. Companies understand this better than most people realize. Every year, businesses spend billions of dollars studying human behavior. They know what grabs your attention. They know how to trigger desire. They know how to create habits. They know how to make you feel like you're missing out. That's why advertisements rarely focus on the product itself. Instead, they sell a lifestyle. They sell status. They sell confidence. They sell the idea that happiness is just one purchase away. The problem is that happiness bought through consumption is often temporary. The excitement fades, the purchase becomes normal, and the cycle begins again. The more money people earn, the more opportunities they have to participate in this cycle. Years passed, and both Alex and David continued working hard. Alex's income grew significantly. On paper, he was doing incredibly well. He earned more than he ever imagined when he started his career. Yet something felt strange. Despite his success, he always seemed to need the next paycheck. His expenses had grown alongside his income. The larger apartment came with higher rent. The nicer car came with bigger payments. The upgraded lifestyle required constant maintenance. Every improvement brought new financial obligations. Then one day, his company announced layoffs. Suddenly, Alex realized how fragile his situation really was. Without a paycheck, his lifestyle became difficult to sustain. He had spent years increasing his income but very little time increasing his financial freedom. Meanwhile, David's life looked much less exciting from the outside. He wasn't constantly upgrading everything. He didn't feel pressure to impress people. But behind the scenes, something powerful was happening. Every dollar he invested was quietly working for him. Year after year, those investments grew. The returns generated more returns. What started as small contributions eventually turned into substantial wealth. Unlike Alex, David's financial security wasn't dependent on appearing successful. It was built on ownership, patience, and discipline. By his 40s, David reached a point where his investments generated meaningful income on their own. He wasn't rich because he earned more than everyone else. He was rich because he kept more of what he earned and allowed time to do the rest. This is where most people misunderstand wealth. They think becoming wealthy requires extraordinary intelligence, a perfect business idea, or a massive salary. In reality, wealth often comes from avoiding the silent money mistake that traps so many people. That mistake is lifestyle inflation. It's the habit of allowing every increase in income to become an increase in spending. It's upgrading your lifestyle every time your paycheck grows. It's believing that earning more automatically makes you wealthier. But wealth isn't determined by how much money comes in. Wealth is determined by the gap between what comes in and what goes out. A person earning $60,000 while saving $20,000 may be building more wealth than someone earning $200,000 and spending nearly all of it. The next time you receive a raise, a bonus, or any increase in income, pause for a moment. Ask yourself a simple question. Will this money improve my future, or will it only improve my lifestyle? Because the answer to that question can change the course of your entire financial life. The difference between staying trapped and becoming financially free is rarely one dramatic decision. More often, it's the accumulation of hundreds of small choices made consistently over many years. The people who build wealth understand that every extra dollar is a tool. They don't see it as permission to spend more. They see it as an opportunity to buy freedom. And that is the secret most people never learn until it's too late. The silent money mistake isn't earning too little. It's spending too much of what you earn. Avoid that mistake, and you give yourself the chance to build something far more valuable than a luxurious lifestyle. You give yourself the chance to build real wealth.